the human being is to accept servitorship of Krishna. So, in other words, when there is discrepancy in the matter of Krishna consciousness, at that time Krishna comes, Krishna descends. Krishna descends means sometimes he personally descends, sometimes he descends by incarnation, sometimes he descends as a sound vibration, sometimes he descends as devotee. There are many different categories of his descendants, and at the present moment, the Krishna has descended in his holy name. You should understand this. Krishna Kalikale Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. This is the statement of Lord Chaitanya, that in this age of Kali, Krishna has descended in the sound vibration form. Sound is also one of the forms. Just Onkar is the form of Krishna. Aksharanam Ankarasmi. Similarly, Krishna now, at the present moment, has descended in the form of his holy name. His name and he, there is no difference. So, why Jada hi dharmasadvani bhavati bharata. People are now forgetting his relationship with God. Now, this incarnation of Krishna in the form of his holy name, this chanting of Krishna will deliver all people of this. This is contributed by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says that Kalikale Nam Rupe Krishna Yaha haite sarva siddhi haivetam. If you chant or if you associate with the chanting of holy name of Krishna, then you will get the highest perfectional stage of life, and we should accept that Krishna has descended at this present moment in the form of his holy name. Thank you.
For example, was the chanting of the name of Krishna effective in this age, or is there some other method to describe this being more effective?
According to Srimad Bhagavatam, there are different processes in different ages, but each process is as good as in any age. It is not that the chanting of Hare Krishna is in this age very effective and it was not effective in the Satya Yuga. It is not like that. The real process is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Kriteja dhyato Vishnu Kritayam yagato makai Dapare parisajjayam Kalau tad harikirtana. Kalau tad harikirtana. It is not that people were not chanting in the Satya Yuga, in Satya Yuga, this holy name of Krishna. It is not that. But in this age, the process adopted in the Satya Yuga, dhyato, meditation, that is not possible. In the Satya Yuga, Kriteta, because people were living at that time 100,000 of years, and it is said that Mahamuni Valmiki, he meditated for 60,000 of years. So, unless you have got sufficient light, the meaning is that meditation process is difficult and you must have sufficient time to practice it and then come to the standard point of meditation. But in this age, such kind of perfection in meditation is not possible. Therefore, in this age especially recommended that you sit down together and chant Hare Krishna. It is very easy. Anyone and everyone can take part in it. Or pre-qualification, and because in this age people are very slow, very fortunate, badly associated, so many qualifications they have got at the present moment. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has introduced, according to Shastra, according to the indication of the Shastra, just like in Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas and other Vedic scriptures, this is recommended. In Kali Santaran Upanishad, in Brahmanda Puran, in Vayu Puran, these chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is recommended. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simply introduced it as a great propaganda. That is. Otherwise, this is recommended in every age. There are many devotees who are chanting. But the process of meditation is not possible. Therefore, simply on the basis of this process, one can attain the highest perfection.
I understand that the revelation given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the fullest revelation of spiritual knowledge. Or is the fullest revelation of spiritual knowledge.
Yes.
How come if in this state of Kali, people in general are less intelligent than in this particular age they have received the fullest revelation of knowledge? Why not from the Sattva?
The fullest revelation of knowledge in Sattva Yuga, there are automatically. People are so advanced, it's like gradually we are declining our memory, duration of age, so many facilities were declining. So in Sattva Yuga, people were by nature fortunate to have many facilities. So for this age, when we are in very fallen condition, these facilities offered so that we can take the same advantage as people in the Sattva Yuga had by other processes.
I just want to clarify the meaning of dharma. Dharma always means, it always has the meaning that which cannot be changed.
That is real dharma. Just like the spirit soul is eternal, similarly the spirit soul's natural occupation is also eternal. That cannot be changed. But when the spirit soul identifies himself with this body and the mind, that is just like at the present moment you have got American body, so your dharma or your occupational duty is different from another body. And the next life, if you change this body, you become, say, other animal or human being, then your occupational duty changes. But if you pick up to the spiritual platform, then that service mode of to the Supreme Personality of Godhead will never change, either in this body or next body.
succession. They never know what it meant at all. Because the Dharma is used twice and once when Krishna comes because of this discrepancy in Dharma, and then in the end we give up Dharma, and they never understand that.
But Dharma, of course, as enunciated by Lord Chaitanya, the Dharma is that you are perfect. Who have got money, they will purchase it. Manusyanam sahasreshu kaschit jatati siddhaya. Jatatam api siddhyanam kaschit veti mam tattvava. Lord Krishna says that out of many, many thousands of people, one becomes interested in perfection of life. And out of many, many thousands of persons who have attained perfection, they can understand Krishna. So Krishna understanding is also very difficult. Krishna is personally explaining himself, his devotees are presenting Krishna consciousness movement in right manner, but people are unfortunate. It will take some, but it is our duty to canvass. That is our business. Either they may accept or not accept, it is our duty. Just like in the university, sometimes some particular class is maintained, even at a loss. So there is no question of loss and gain. It is our duty to serve Krishna, therefore we shall go on trying for it to distribute Krishna consciousness. What is that?
Well, I didn't fully understand when you talking about Subhadra
Subhadra.
in relation to
Subhadra is the sister of Krishna and she is incarnation of Durga.
Subhadra is the external potency. Is Subhadra in the spiritual
Yes,
world?
yes.
She's in the spiritual world?
No.
No.
In one sense, she is also in spiritual world, because she is energy of Krishna. So, Krishna's energy is also eternal. So, wherever Krishna is there, his energy is there. But her activities are in the material world. Just like a king is there and he has got all kinds of officers with him, but some officer is engaged in the government house. Other officers, they are engaged outside the government house. The officers who have got engagement outside the government house, they may be sitting with Krishna, may be sitting with the governor or the king, but he has no business within the government house. In the government house there is particular secretary, particular man in charge. Similarly, in the spiritual world, the energy which is working, that is called Yogama. And in the material world, the energy which is working, that is called Mahama. So Subhadra is Vishnu Shakti Paraprota. Actually, Krishna's energy is spiritual, that is not material. Let's try to understand that there is department of welfare and there is department of police. It does not mean that welfare department is very favorable to the government and police department is not favorable. Do you think it is like that? For the government, both the departments are equal. Let's try to understand. So, the material energy is working in a different way. That does not mean that material energy is not liked by Krishna. It has got the same importance as the spiritual energy. But the material energy is engaged in a thankless task for punishing the conditioned soul, just like the police department. For Krishna, there is no difference between material energy or spiritual energy. For Krishna, it is all the same. Because he has got one energy, that's the electricity. Somewhere it is working for cooling purpose, and somewhere it is working for heating purpose. But the generation of electric from electric powerhouse, the energy is the same, electric. Similarly, Krishna's energy is always spiritual. There is no difference between his energy and heat. But it is acting in a different way. Parasya Shakti Dividaiva Sriyate. Dividaiva Sriyate. Parasya Shakti, the Supreme Lord, he has got energy. That the energy is one. Similarly, he is, in some of the Puranas, it is described that Durga is also Radharani. In the Brahma Samhita you find it. Have you read it? Yes. So far energy is concerned, it is always spiritual. But it is acting in a different way, in a different field of activity. Is it clear? Not clear, you say? What is the difficulty of understanding? The energy is one. Krishna's energy is one. Vishnu Shakti Parapakta. So, in relationship to Krishna, there is no distinction of energy. But for our understanding, we can take that it is working sometimes in inferior qualitative form, just like in this material world, and sometimes it is working in superior qualitative form in the spiritual world. The same thing, that electric energy sometimes working for cooling, sometimes working for heating. But to the engineer of electric energy who is generating, for him there is no such distinction. But those who are using it, they are thinking it is hot, it is cool. The energy is the same. Try to understand in this way. Krishna's energy, he cannot, I would say, distribute any inferior energy, because he is not inferior, he is always superior, spiritual. Therefore his energy is always spiritual. But it is working for different purposes. The material energy, I shall give you another example. Just like the street light, there is red light and green light and yellow light. The yellow light is, I would say, seen sometimes, but either the red light or the green light is always. But it is working under the same electric energy. Sometimes it's appearing green, sometimes it's appearing yellow, sometimes it's in red. But on the background, the same energy. Now by red light you have to stop, by green light you can start. Your activity becomes different by different light. But the light is acting by the same energy. In the Bhagavad Gita it is also said that maya dhakshena prakriti ishyate satarasaram. And the Brahma Samhita also said, Chaeva jasab bhunani vibhakti dukkha. She is also acting under Krishna's direction. So how she can be inferior? Just like the criminals, they are thinking that this police department is inferior or very bothering. It is in relation with me. But police department is not an inferior department of the God. It has to act like that. Similarly, material energy has to act to bewilder the living entity. That is under the direction of Krishna. We living entity under the material energy, we wanted to lord it over the material nature. So Krishna has given as facility our life. You try to, because you cannot lord it over. This is false. But I have got the tendency to lord it over the material nature. So he is giving me the chance. But actually I cannot. Jalavidya Sab Mayar Vaibhav. Now, in the modern trend of civilization, we are trying to control the material nature. But actually we are being defeated. We try to control one law and we are being defeated by another law. There were great scientists like Professor Einstein. They thought defeated. That is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Parabhavasthavadavodhajan. So long we are in ignorance how these laws of nature are working under the supreme direction. So our study of all these material nature's law is defeat. That is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now why do we understand, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, that maya dhakshena prakriti jyoti satara. So that is the real understanding. To understand the lawmaker, not to be struck with wonder with the activities of the law. Vaishnavas, they are concerned with the background lawmaker. And if you know the lawmaker, then automatically you know the laws, how they are acting. Jasmin vijñāte sarvam evam vijñātam bhavanti. The basic Gita is said. So when we understand Krishna in perfection, we can understand how his energy, different energies are working, it will be revealed to us. And because all energies are working under the direction of Krishna, because it is in touch with Krishna, therefore nothing is inferior or material, everything is spiritual. At a higher platform, therefore one can understand sarvam khalidam brahma. Whatever is acting, in the Vishnu Purana also the same thing is confirmed. Parasya brahmana shakti jayedam akilam jagat. Whatever we are experiencing, that is simply action and reaction of the different energy of the Supreme Lord. Parasya brahmana shakti jayedam akilam jagat. So, when we understand Krishna perfectly, then this distinction of superior, inferior will disappear. Just like some fruit, you have purchased from the market, and some you are eating. So it is called inferior energy. The same fruit you offer to Krishna and eat, which is called superior energy. Now how the same fruit becomes immediately from inferior condition to superior? Because it is offered to Krishna. Do you follow? Because it is offered to Krishna, ordinary rice, one says it is vast, by which they prasad. If a man may question how it has become prasad, it is vast, rice. No, because it is offered to Krishna, therefore it has changed its quality from inferior to superior. So anything engaged in the service of Krishna, it is superior. In the higher sense, everything is serving Krishna. So, those who are highly elevated to understand, but that is not to be imitated. For them, there is no higher or superior, inferior. Everything he sees in Krishna connection. That is very high stage of life, that's not to be imitated. But actually, when one is perfectly spiritually enlightened for him, there is no such thing as inferior or superior. Everything in connection with Krishna is superior. Therefore, Krishna consciousness is the main principle. Who is acting? The person who is acting, if he is in Krishna consciousness, then whatever is acting, that is spiritual. Yes?
The verse in the second chapter also, the quarter part of it tonight about Dharma. The second chapter, it says Aha Sukhi.
Yes.
So that devotion